Back in May, Donald Trump and Reince Priebus, the chairman of the Republican Party, made a big announcement that they had a team of Republican establishment's biggest donors and fundraisers in Trump's corner. Now, some of Trump's large donors, although it's hard to know exactly who because many of them are speaking anonymously, are reportedly starting to panic. One donor telling The Hill yesterday, "I would break his effing thumbs if I could because he can't stop effing tweeting." He didn't say effing. But while some big donors have seemingly had it with Trump, never fear, small donors are lining up to hand over their money to the magnate.
Just a little while ago, I met with the Gold Star families, and a gentleman handed me a check. And he said, "You know, Mr. Trump, this is for your campaign." And I said, "You don't have to do that." He goes, "I do." He said, "It's more money," and I haven't even opened it yet. I don't think I'll tell you how much it is, actually, but he said, "It's more money." Wow. He said, "It's more money than we can afford."
Yes, the vaunted check opening. The New York Times reports Trump and the Republican National Committee raised $64 million for a joint digital and mail effort in July, according to his campaign, the bulk of it from small donations. In the past month, Trump has significantly closed the fundraising gap with Hillary Clinton. He and the RNC took in $80 million last month, $9 million less than the $89 million raised by Clinton and the DNC. Compare those numbers to June, where there was a $17.5 million difference. As the New York Times points out, Trump has the potential to be the first Republican nominee whose campaign could be financed chiefly by grassroots supporters pitching in $10 or $25 apiece. Joining me now, Nick Compasori, political reporter for the New York Times on this beat and MSNBC contributor. So you and I have been tracking this the whole time, right? And we've ended up where we thought we might, but it's still sort of a fascinating under the radar story. The big donors are not that into him. Yeah. They're not showing up in the way they showed up for Romney. But the small donor fundraising has gone from 0 to 60 very fast.
Extremely fast. In fact, I'm not sure we've seen a takeoff this fast in the modern history of online, seamless online fundraising. It's actually quite astonishing. It's a combination of the RNC having built this capability in-house for a while, and Trump being, in the same way that Bernie Sanders is, kind of the perfect candidate to do this kind of fundraising. He has the credibility, and people want to give him money, partly because of his message that I'm not wedded to the lobbyists and the donors and the establishment. It's a powerful thing for these small donors.
This is also, I talked to a bunch of folks I know who work in this space throughout the campaign, and someone said to me, God, if you made someone in a lab to small dollar fundraise on the right, this is the perfect guy. This is a group of people that, from Richard Viguerie doing direct mail back in God knows when, through selling gold and all the different ways in which people have been able to sort of get money out of small dollar hardcore conservatives. This is a perfect match.
That's right. Look, for a long time, the Republicans have always had this latent, huge advantage in small donor money because they have a huge pool of donors and a culture of giving small checks. The problem was it was swallowed up by direct mail entrepreneurs, scam packs, and other scam artists who would use these lists to say that Obama's coming to take your guns, or there's a military operation in the Southeast, or buy some gold, or buy a Bible cure for cancer.
Or some seeds.
Right, so all this money was going to the wrong place.
Right.
And the Democrats, meanwhile, were perfecting technology, not doing scam packs, not a big problem on the left, by the way. And here you have, finally, the marriage of one of these outsider candidates who captured the nomination and could take advantage of the platform as built by a reputable party institution that is not out to scam donors. Boom.
And now it also gives them this leverage. That's the other fascinating thing. We're seeing in the same, this is the sort of under the radar story, right? So the story everyone's paying attention to is campaign in crisis, which true, right, from a polling perspective, feuding with the Republican Party. But you take away Donald Trump, that money's not coming in. He is the source for that revenue right now.
Exactly. So it's kind of, they're both kind of tied to each other. Trump has outsourced his digital and his grassroots and his get out the vote to the RNC and the party. But he is the tentpole. Parties at this point in the election rely on the candidates to bring in the money. But the guy at the top has to bring in money. So now he's doing it, but it's not coming from those big donors. So they can't tell him to take a hike. The whole party needs the money that he is bringing in. On the other hand, he does need some of that big donor money. It would not hurt. It's just that he is really doing amazingly well with small donors right now.
Well, and then we turn, so there's the input and the output, right? So the input in the campaign is you raise money, and the output is basically you spend most of it on TV.
Yeah.
The numbers are insane. He's getting outspent like 98 to 1 by the Clinton campaign, by some records. They're barely up on the air anywhere. There's a question about, like, does that change anything? Or are we in some weird new place where paid TV advertising isn't having the punch it once used to have?
But the problem is, the ad rates right now are getting higher and higher. The Clinton campaign has been buying, and the PAC have been buying ads in advance for months and months and months. They've been reserving time at lower rates. He's coming in now when the prices are high and going higher. So the question is he going to take his big pot of money? I think they said they had something like $74 million cash on hand, which is a lot. What do they do with that money? That's a lot of money to have on hand. The Clinton campaign has been investing in all this time, so you could see some big advertising purchases if they think that will work for them.
I am really fascinated to see what a big, huge buy from the Trump campaign in, say, Pennsylvania looks like. Yeah, shudder to think in some ways. Nick Compasori, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.